This is my essay brief for text versus image. To start off, we've seen a major shift from text-dominated learning to image-dominated learning. But what we've also seen is a shift in authority from the creator of the text or image to the viewer or reader. And I think that is the shift which is going to carry on through and define what kind of learning we're going to see in the future. I think the next major step in this shift in authority is going to be interactive learning, as in educational systems which adapt to the way in which they are used. I'm looking at game design in learning, so I'm going to be referencing Seth Pribratch, who adds game dynamics to the world.
Because while the last decade was the decade of social, and the decade of where the framework in which we connect with other people was built, this next decade will be the decade where the game framework is built.
James Gee, the guy you showed us in the lecture.
Doesn't matter what the problems are. All a video game is a set of problems that you must solve in order to win.
Paul Anderson, who taught a school class as a game.
And so I wanted to try to apply some of these dynamics into my classrooms.
And Katie Salen, who works in similar fields, programming and getting children to program.
I'm a big advocate of games, partially because I think that play is just an amazing, important part of people even developmentally. And we know historically that young kids have to play. That's one of the ways that they learn.
Next, I'll be looking at e-learning and what the implications of the internet has for learning. The price of information has steadily gone down over the years, so that it's now, with the rise of the internet, just above zero. Essentially, it stops being a question of whether you can afford to learn and more of a question of whether you want to learn. With information readily available to anyone with an internet connection, we're going to see people learning incredible amounts when they have very few other resources. So I'll be looking at various online learning resources: Wikipedia, Khan Academy, Code Academy, and Crash Course series. Possibly Vsauce. I'll look at the role of technology in education and how technology is likely to change, because at the moment we sort of adapt ourselves to technology. We accept that it's going to be in one place, and we sit down, we put our hands on a keyboard and we input into it, and it takes a bit of time to learn how to use technology. I think in the future, technology is going to take as its starting model what is easiest for a human to do, and then model itself around that. In the same way, education is going to adapt itself to the learner, whether that's with technology or not. Education facilitating the learner as the main designer of their own education. For this kind of personalised learning, there's a good talk by Sajan George, and he talks about personal educational plans and how these might be actually implemented, and his focus isn't necessarily technology, although it does play a role.
The single most important determinant of your child's academic success isn't technology, isn't poverty or economic or family background. It's the quality of the teacher that stands in front of him or her.
Right, so those are the rough sections I want my essay to be in, and my resources aren't all TED Talks. I have some books as well. Finding books on interactive virtual learning is quite difficult because it's such a new subject. So I've got books on interactivity and books on learning, mainly, and semiotics. We have Reading Images, The Grammar of Visual Design, which is Gunther Kress and Theo van Leeuwen. We have Wasted, Why Education Isn't Education by Frank Furey. This one, not sure it's going to be very helpful, but it's called Joined Up Thinking, and Stephen really liked it, so yes. Mind at Light Speed is more about intelligence connected with the internet, and what kind of virtual systems we're likely to see in the future. When was this written? 2001. So possibly a little bit out of date. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm not planning on doing this essay in video format, although I'd be interested to know if that would be an option.